I'm going to give everyone like 1 more minute to kind of sign up. We still got people joining as I speak. So I'll start in about 1 minute. All right, we already got some questions coming up. Video looks good. Thanks, Rob. Hey, Rob. Well, before I start the webinar, I was talking to Horde and Fly about it, but the freaking mastermind's down right now, and I think it is because of vanilla forums end. Because from what we read on the forums, the like vanilla forums, there's no way for me to put it on maintenance mode from my end. And so, yeah, I don't know. The mastermind is currently under construction, and it's annoying. All right. I am going to get started. The very first question we have is from Josie Shepard. Cash flow is a major concern for me. What percentage of your available cash is tied up in inventory? Does most of your inventory turn over in 90 days? Yeah, most of my inventory at least turns over in 90 days. The only reason my inventory wouldn't turn over in 90 days is if, like, say I ordered from a supplier 100 different units and 100 of each of those units. In 90 days, there might still be some random stragglers kind of here and there that have like 5 units left in stock. But like for the most part, 90 days is kind of my rule of thumb I'd like to have my inventory turnover in. It's an easy way to calculate exactly how much cash flow you have. And then you were talking about what percentage of your available cash is tied up in inventory. The way I like to do it is to have like at least 50 to 75% of cash on hand that I have in inventory. So say if I had 100 grand in inventory, I'd like to have at least 50 to 70 grand sitting in my pocket. I've told this story before, but it's a good example of how this can happen and why you need to have so much cash on hand at all times. Is I sold knee scooters, and like the little injured, when you like injure your foot or something like that, and we bought 20-foot containers, 210 units, and sold something like, I think it was like a dozen or something in the first like 2 to 3 days. Like a dozen to 20 or something like that in the first 2 to 3 days. And we're thinking, wow, crap. We just spent like $40,000 on this container, and we have to order another container a week after selling them, because since it took 2 months from us ordering it to getting the knee scooters in stock at Amazon, by the time, if we ordered even a week out from us getting our stock in, we had to already order another container so we wouldn't run out of stock. And for most people, if they just spent 40 grand a container, the next week they can't drop another 40 grand on top of that right off the bat. And so you need to have that cash flow available, because there's nothing worse than running out of stock and not being able to get your product in stock fast enough, because then you're leaving sales on the table and you're just losing money, and you're deranking every day you don't have stuff in stock. So it's like double whammy of bad things. All right, a couple questions from Rob. Yeah, Rob, I'll probably email you after the webinar. Okay, Mandy says, what is your promotional strategy? Do you give away items to launch your product? How do you advertise your product? I don't really agree with giving away your product. I'm in Amazon more to make cash, not as much to build a brand. I would build a brand off Amazon more. And so my strategy is, when I launch a product, is that I will buy a bunch of products on Aliexpress. This is my strategy as of late. It changes case by case, but I will buy a bunch of samples, like 10 random products on Aliexpress, and I'll order 50 units of each, and I'll send them all into Amazon and throw Amazon ads at all of them. And of those 10 products, 2 to 3 of them will be winners, most likely. And then I'll reorder those ones, and then I won't reorder the other ones and liquidate them. And then if that item, if I'm just flipping an Aliexpress item, I'm not doing anything, I'm not adding any value. And if I order that item again and it keeps selling and things look good and I'm selling like anywhere from like 2 to 5 units a day, then I'll take that supplier and that product and get it branded, get nicer packaging, and actually do a little bit of, a tiny bit of promotion, maybe make a social media account for it or whatever, and then kind of let that ride out. And then from there, if the people keep buying it, once it's now branded and the price has gone up a little bit more, then I'll think about marketing it if it makes sense. But I only market if I have like a specific strategy in mind for that product. I don't like really marketing to market. I don't really like just like spamming people and bugging people saying, hey, buy these, buy these, buy these, buy these. It doesn't seem to work as well. And so if I see something that's organic where it's like, oh, this whatever, this Instagram account actually seems like someone who would really like my product, I should contact them and send them one of my products so then they can post it to all their Instagram followers. And like I would maybe do something like that and kind of just like I can give away 1 unit and get 100,000 impressions opposed to just giving away 50 units to get 50 reviews. I know people differ with me on this, but I don't really see reviews as the like end all be all best thing ever. From my point of view as a buyer, at least on Amazon, is that if I see a product with say 20 reviews and I see a product with 85 reviews, I'm not really gonna think too differently from the 2 different products. It's like whatever, like 60 reviews doesn't mean anything really, especially when we know that like you can just give away 60 units to get 60 reviews. And so like I see people trying to still get reviews when they have like 250 reviews, and it's like, okay, this is not where you should be spending your time, because this is not going to get you more money. If your product had 500 reviews opposed to 250, your sales wouldn't double. No one would care. And so it's not as crucial as some may think. And like I run ads on products that like I have a pair of marijuana growing sunglasses I sell, and they just got their first review. But up until then, I've sold like 50 units on ads with over the last like month and a half with no reviews. And so it's still very possible. You just got to find unsaturated markets. All right, next question. How do you differentiate your products from other sellers with similar products? I usually go into super unsaturated niches. I don't like to go into like meat claws or like peelers or spiralizers or any of those kind of crap that like you go put up a listing and you're organically on like page 20. That's not the kind of stuff I'd go after. I would go after one like, all right, here's the sweet freebie of the webinar. I'm giving away one of my product ideas to you guys. Go after if you want to. If you look up drone landing pad, there is one product, and it looks like a little trampoline, and it's like $60. And you could go buy any all-season outdoor mat for like $1 off Alibaba and put a big D on it for drone and say that you are selling yours now for $39.99 and you're a drone landing pad. And it's a great product because nothing can go wrong. It would ship cheap. People who buy drones already have money, and so they're willing to buy accessories. If you threw up a drone landing pad listing, you'd be the second one on Amazon immediately, overnight, because there's no other drone landing pads on Amazon. And so that's the kind of product I'd go after. I'm not afraid to go after a product that's not currently on Amazon. It's, you know, the market's there. Obviously, people are going to buy some dumb gift. And even if the person who owns the drone won't buy it, their loved ones will buy it because they'll go, well, what does Will want? It's like, I don't know, he's into drones. Well, it's like, I'm intimidated by drones. I don't even know where to start with them. Well, get them a landing pad. That seems like a simple, dumb kind of thing. And so I would go after products like that. And that's my whole strategy, is sell products that at a good price, a good quality that people want. And that is a way better long-term business strategy than get a bunch of reviews, give away a bunch of products, and then sit back and hope that you rank high. And because it's just a whole different mindset where I say sell 1 unit of 1,000 different products a day, opposed to trying to sell 1 unit 1,000 different times a day. It's a totally different mindset. But like, say with that drone landing pad, real quick. say after everything I get it for $10 and I can sell it for $40. And so after fees and everything, I'm making $20 a piece, and I'm selling 2 a day. Well, some people might be bummed out selling 2 a day. I am not. If I'm making $40 a day off that product, that means I'm making like somewhere around $15,000 a year off one product. And so, and since you're only selling 2 a day, you can, if you have the capital, you can buy 2,000 of them and restock once every 2 years, and just kind of sit back and you go, well, this random product is making me 15 grand a year, and I restock it once every 2 years. Now you go and add 9 more products like that, and then you sit back and wait, and then you go and you say, damn, I'm making 150 grand a year. I only have 10 products, and I only have to order them once every 1.5 to 2 years. And you're making a good salary. And then from there, you can really get greedy, because now you've proven a market. You've actually kind of started making some money. You can actually kind of take it to the next level. You can go, okay, well now, next time I source my 11th product, I can really go after a product that may be super expensive or a super obscure niche, because you can actually risk a little bit more because you have so much more capital available. And yeah, so I would kind of build a business like that and kind of build it slowly, opposed to like doing all this marketing and all this kind of crap. It's, again, I'm going to be repeating myself for some people, but some of you guys probably haven't heard this. But okay, there's 2 ways to increase your revenue on Amazon. One way is through marketing, and one way is through increasing the number of SKUs you sell. They're basically the only 2 ways to increase revenue. And so, with marketing, where a lot of people say that's how you should increase revenue, the reason they say that you should do marketing is because they assume all Amazon sellers have no money. And so if you have no money, marketing is the cheapest way for you to increase your revenue. But if you have some cash, which it's like, if you're going to try to start a new business and you don't have any cash at all, you should probably just try to save up a few grand and then start your business, opposed to just trying to like really scrape by for a while, because it's going to jumpstart your business so much quicker with cash. But anyways, so the way I see it is between marketing and increasing SKUs. When I post a blog post, when I do a social media post, when I do any sort of marketing, it's very hard, since Amazon doesn't let you put your own kind of like code in their listings. It's very hard to see where the sales came from. And so since it's very hard to see where the sales came from, it's very hard to measure your ROI. And if you can't measure your ROI, you're pretty much shooting blind. And so you sit there and you keep doing marketing, but you don't really know how many sales you're getting. You can do kind of coupon codes and kind of try to figure it out through that, but still you're not sure everyone's going to use the correct coupon code or any of that kind of crap. And so for me, it's different, because say, back to the example of sourcing 10 products. You source the 10 products. I know I spent $1,000 on those 10 products total. And then I sell 3 of those out immediately and make like $600 back real quick. Well, I've already made $600 bucks back in that $1,000 I spent. I liquidate the remaining 7, and I get another $300 back. So now I'm back to like almost even, and I found 3 winners for life. And those 7 losers are going to be one-time losers, because I'll never order them again. And so it's a lot easier for me to measure my ROI when I'm increasing SKUs, because it's very simple to know if something's a winner or a loser, opposed to me doing social media and marketing across a million different platforms. I really don't know what's working and what's not. And I'm all about testing and analytics and using your own analytics. And so it just makes a lot more sense for me personally to just add SKUs, opposed to try to market one item at a time. So pretty long answer to Frank's question there. So it's from Rob. So I came across an interesting, terrifying one this morning. You know the vegetable spiralizer everyone private labels? The patent holder has started going after everyone selling it on Amazon. That's hilarious. That guy has quite the job cut out for him. You almost would have to, like, if he's going to actually go after the patents for the Spiralizer and how many sellers are on there, it almost would be worth his time to, like, fly out to Seattle or whatever and, like, meet with Amazon and go, like, listing by listing, because there are so many people selling it, and there's so many, like, I don't know if he's going to have to order each one individually and show how they infringe his patent or what he's going to have to do, but that sounds miserable. It sounds like that guy should have done that a long time ago. Okay, Chris Anderson. Hey, Chris. When searching for a supplier via Alibaba, what criteria do you select? Gold supplier, assess supplier, site on check, all three, or don't risk it? Yeah, I don't usually kind of look out for it. It just kind of always happens that they end up being gold suppliers and site on check. I've ordered from enough suppliers now that I can kind of just tell through what they're saying and what kind of like bank account information and that kind of stuff, if they're legitimate or not. Also, yeah, you can just kind of tell, or it's really, something I found pretty convenient is taking the supplier's name or like the manufacturer's name and then Googling it with like the word like scam afterwards. And you'll get all sorts of like scam report, all these kind of things. And it's just kind of one more way to check on the suppliers ahead of time. Since I'm usually doing such small orders, like usually for the beginning, under like $3,000, I don't worry about it too much. I just try to get going fast. But if I'm gonna ever order a container or something like that, yeah, it's definitely something where it's like I'd like to get a little bit more trust, and I usually pay with PayPal the first time, so I can always get my money back if I end up getting scammed. When Chris also asks, when you order a product from Aliexpress, you are just posting it as a generic product on a new listing? Yes. And sometimes I will give it a brand name that I kind of have, like I already have, or it kind of fits in one of my private label brands. I'll give it the brand name, but I just won't actually brand the product. So I'll say it's Will's Meat Claws, Will's brand Meat Claws. But I actually won't put my name on it anywhere, but it at least gives it some sort of legitimacy. It's all about testing the market. You're not sitting there flipping products on AliExpress getting rich. You're sitting there flipping products on AliExpress to see if there's actually demand. Because all these different softwares that say they know sales history and like FBA Toolkit and all these things are totally inaccurate. And so it works a lot better if you use your own analytics opposed to some random third parties that are off. What about giving away products to boost, Sean asks, what about giving away products to boost up sales and increase ranking at launch? See, that's the thing, is that I just don't go after products that need to be increased ranking. As I was talking about, the drone landing pad, I literally could go 0 sales history, 0 reviews, throw that on Amazon, and I'd be the second one down. And so it's like, I'd go after products like that, where it's like, there's so many low-hanging fruit still that you can just sell all these different random products that no one's ever heard of. And the best part is, no one's ever heard of it. That means that the competition's going to be away for a while. So while you sit there and sell the Spiralizer, eventually there's going to be some big dog who comes through, buys $5 million worth of Spiralizer and sells them for $2.99 a piece and makes money off it. And everyone else is sitting there trying to like write new ebooks for their Spiralizer, trying to differentiate themselves. While I'm sitting there selling 2 drone landing pads a day and making my 15 grand a year off this one dumb product. And so it's like, I really don't like the idea of giving away products to increase sales, because I see it this way. I'm going to go on another longer rant, but the Amazon right now is not, as it is not going to be around forever. We are in a gold rush right now of like, I would give it an outside 5 to 10 years where they're just going to keep letting as many third-party sellers join Amazon. They're going to keep letting us post as many products as we want. They're just going to keep doing all that kind of stuff. And eventually Amazon's going to start leaning out and favoring the high-velocity sellers who have the best customer support. And they're going to start kind of weeding out the little guys who are just sitting there selling knockoffs of everyone else's crap. And so you just need to get as much cash you can right now on Amazon, and you need to test as many products as possible. So say you get that drone landing pad and it takes off and you're selling a decent amount, and you sell a couple more drone accessories and a drone case and this, and you got like 10 different drone accessories, and you're making some decent money off drones, and you're making $100K a year off Amazon off your 10 drone products. After a year of sales and you've proven the market and you've already made some cash, and since you got 100 grand from selling those products, throw 10 grand at a developer/designer and get a nice Shopify store made, and buy a domain, dronestoreheadquarters.com or whatever, and start bringing your private label brand over there, and then start try to slowly get your traffic more at your e-commerce site opposed to your Amazon site. So then 5-10 years from now, you have a 5 to 10 year old established e-commerce site with all the systems in place, all the inventory, all the marketing, all the emails, and everything's in place for you to run your own business for the rest of your life, and so you don't have to depend on Amazon decades from Frank asks, how do you differentiate yourself from products with selling similar products? Usually I just wouldn't sell them unless they're selling like a color or like a size or something that I can get that they're not selling yet. But if I see someone who has the same exact product as me, unless they're getting really, really greedy where, say I see that the product's $1 and they're selling it for 50. It's like, then I might sell the same exact product as someone else and just steal their sales for a little bit. It's not a long-term strategy, but it's like, hey, I might as well throw up a listing because if I get a few sales, at least it's going to make me some decent cash. But for the most part, if I see like, say like the meat cloths, you go on the first page and all of them are the exact same and they're all priced around the exact same on the very first page, it's like I would stay the hell away from that because it's like I'm going to do so much marketing and so much time spent on just getting this product on the first page. And it's like, at that point, the amount of time I'd spend marketing it and giving product away on that first page, I could have tested 10 more products on Aliexpress. And at least I'm making money testing products on Aliexpress. And at least I'm learning something doing testing products on Aliexpress. And so I just see it kind of that way. I don't really like the idea of, it's all about time spent, dollars output. And so if you're sitting there and building up this Facebook group and contacting people and spending hours a week just trying to drop these kind of marketing strategies, you could have spent, it takes 2 hours to order 10 products on AliExpress that are going to be semi-decent. And then that's going to be the gift that keeps on giving, opposed to these posts and social media posts and all that kind of stuff where it's like you're kind of fingers crossed, hoping someone clicks the link and then hoping someone actually buys from that link too. Theory asks, I'm on my first order and have many silly obstacles. Right now, I am shipping using 1 CBM, I'm not sure what that is, for a total weight of, cubic meter, I'm assuming, for a total weight of 42 kilograms. It'd be awesome if you could tell me the best way to ship it. 110 units take 1 cubic meter and weighs 48 kg. Should I use the FBA forwarder? Thank you in advance. You're just going to have to bite the bullet. That's honestly what I would do, is that you are going to, they're wondering just about high shipping costs and what to do with it. Until you get to like the 20-foot container level, shipping's going to be very expensive, so it makes more sense to source smaller products unless there's huge margin involved. And so in the beginning, with like AliExpress and stuff, a lot of them say they're like $9.99 and they're free shipping, but really it's like $9 shipping and then 99 cents for the product. And so, I don't know, like just shipping from China is expensive. There's not really much you can do about it, especially when you're ordering such small amounts. If you're ordering like just like 2 boxes, like 2 2-foot by 2-foot by 2-foot boxes, like you're going to get killed because you might only be able to fit maybe 9 units in that if you have like a kind of a bigger product, and you're going to get charged a couple $100. And so there's just nothing you can really do until you get up to the container level. Because for me in Minnesota, it costs, the last time I checked, like landed like $3,000 for like a 20-foot container and like $4,500 for a 40-foot container. And so as you can see, if you order a couple boxes and it's already a couple $100, I can fit a lot of boxes in the 40-foot container. And so it doesn't take long for you to get up to the container level, not because you want to order that much inventory, but because you're going to spend $4,000 in shipping regardless. So you might as well get a container and get every unit after that $4,000 pretty much free shipping. Frank says, how do you come up with these product ideas? Honestly, just always keeping my mind going. I was listening to, you guys ever heard the podcast This Week in Startups? He started kind of a spin-off podcast with This Week in Drones. And I was listening to it when I was in Amsterdam last week. And they're talking all about drones and how they're the future. And I was like, oh, well, if drones are the future, there must be a lot of accessories that people want to buy. And so I was like, oh, what kind of accessories would they want? It's like, drone landing pad. I look it up, and there's only one available on Amazon. And it's like, well, okay, put that one in Evernote. Like, that's a good one. And I got, I have like a spreadsheet full of a million different product ideas where it's like, I just kind of stumble upon stuff. Or two, I stumble upon stuff that's like, has 900 reviews and isn't fulfilled by Amazon. And it's like, well, first off, I always look up, like, is there some like rule why it's not fulfilled by Amazon? And if there isn't, then it's like, well, I'm going to go sell that because I'm going to kill it because people love buying stuff Prime. Okay, we got a decent amount of questions now, so I am going to kind of skip around a little bit more. So, okay, yeah, another one question on how to come up with product ideas. Again, there's nothing really, there's no scientific model to it. It's just a way I describe it, which is helpful for some, not helpful for others, is try to find stuff that's expensive for no reason. And so it's usually like hunks of metal, plastic, or rubber, or wood that are usually overpriced for no reason. And so an example I always use is like an iPhone case compared to a car tire, where a car tire may cost $40, an iPhone case may cost $40. The car tire has way more rubber in it. The car tire has to go under way more rigorous testing through the government and all that kind of stuff, but still somehow an iPhone case is more expensive. And so that doesn't really make sense. And then you look on Alibaba and you get an iPhone case for 10 cents and you go, oh, so there's just this huge markup for no reason. And so it's like just kind of products like that where it's like you'll see something in the store and you go, what the heck? That's like, my mom always buys dumb trinkets, and she'll get like a little orb of like wood that she's going to put on like her coffee table, and I'll ask her how much she got it for, and she'll say $60. And it's like, oh, like, don't buy that crap. Like, I will get that from you from China for 10 cents. Promise. Like, just next time you want something like that, take a picture and I'll get it for you and we'll save 99%. And so there's plenty of dumb stuff out there that's marked up for no reason. And it's usually to products that have like messed up distribution channels. What is needed to control the buy box for a certain product? Do you need to put a label on the actual unit? Turner asked, if you guys didn't hear me the first time, what is needed to control the buy box for a certain product? Do you need to put a label on the actual unit? No, the buy box has nothing to do with labels. The buy box consists of, first and foremost, you need to be fulfilled by Amazon. Second off, you need to have the lowest price or within 2%. That's what I've heard. I don't know. That's not fact. And the third thing is you want to have a high seller rating, and it goes in like a tiered format where it's like 99, 98 are the same, 97 through 95 are the same, 95 through like 92 are the same. If you look up, I think it's Feedvisor made it, but it's if you look at the PDF for like Buy Box Bible, it's a great little ebook explaining exactly how the buy box works, and they actually tell you from their point of view with all of their analytics, repricing for everyone, exactly how the buy box works and how to control it. And they actually break down the numbers of like where the tiers are and all that kind of stuff. And so definitely check out the Buy Box Bible. It's if you have any questions about the buy box, they do a very good job of breaking it down and describing exactly what it takes to control the buy box. Chris asks, have you found that selling products over $35 moves somewhat quicker because it doesn't have to have the add-on item? Okay, so Chris is saying, do $35 items sell better because they're free shipping regardless if you have Amazon Prime or not? I haven't really found so. I have seen multiple times my friends do it, multiple times my girlfriend do it, multiple times my parents do it, where they don't have Amazon Prime and they go to buy something that's, say, $25, and then they see that it's $35 for free shipping, and they just go and buy whatever then. They buy a $10 thing because Amazon has everything. And so you just kind of like stop for a second, they look around the house and they go, and I need toilet paper. And I need dish detergent, and I need, I guess I will get that new iPhone case now. And so they'll just find an excuse to spend an extra $10, $20 to get up to that $35 mark. And I see that more than anything. And so it's a pretty genius little ploy by Amazon. But it's like, you know Amazon has the lowest price. You know there's always something you need. And so it's when you get to like the $20 or $15 mark, it's really not that hard to spend an extra $20 to get up to that $35 mark. Mark asks, can you explain your Amazon ad strategy? Do you do auto-targeting, manual? And if manual, how do you choose your keywords? Usually, I add too many SKUs that I just don't waste my time, unless it seems I really am like pretty sure that the product is going to be a big winner or whatever. Like, I think I have a unique way to market it. I usually just do it with the automatic ad targeting, and when, say I get those 10 products and I send them all in, I'll give it like, I'll throw them all in ads at like a 50-cent minimum bid, and I'll sit there and just sit back and wait for 2 weeks. And the best part is that there are certain products like that drone landing pad. If there's only one other drone landing pad out there, that means no one's paying for ads for it, most likely too. And so I can go after the keyword drone landing pad and pay 5 cents a click and just make a killing on it. And so that's been a new strategy I've been going after, is looking for products that have, like, say you search.
No.
Is a good strategy for starting out on a shoestring budget to start building up. Honestly, this is like the last advice anyone ever wants to hear, but I've been giving it more and more lately, is that, like, no offense to like Nick or anyone, but it's like, get your life straight. Like, do not sit there and be like, wow, I have $500 in my checking account, I owe $1,000 on my credit card, I want to start an Amazon business tomorrow. I'm going to start building this Amazon business. It's going to go so slowly. It's going to be so annoying. It's going to take forever. You're not going to have money. You're going to have to penny pinch every single step along the way, and it's just going to be a pain in the ass. But instead, if you sit there and go, okay, I'm going to go for the next 3 months and work double shifts. Just for, like, you don't need a ton of money, but just like, I'm going to work double the amount for the next 2.5, 3 months. And grind it out, and then October comes along, and you have an extra $3,000 in your checking account. Now that you have $3,000 and you have all your debt paid off, it's like, now that you have $3,000, it's like, now you have some sort of kind of buying power, and it's like, you can spend $1,500 on products and you're not completely financially wrecked. You still can restock those products if they start selling too quickly. And so it's like, you want to get the life straight first. You want to get a decent amount of cash, at least a few $1,000s. And then you can think about kind of going into Amazon and doing all that kind of stuff. But if you got a shoestring budget, you only got a few $100, I guess I would just kind of slowly get started with retail arbitrage and kind of learn the system and make a couple bucks here and there. But for the most part, you want to have at least some sort of cash, or else you're kind of just wasting your own time. Your Amazon business will grow faster, I would expect, if you, instead of starting with $500 and trying to push that out for 3 months, it will grow faster if you just took 3 months off, worked your ass off in your normal day job, got an extra $3,000, and then started with $3,000 3 months later. Todd asked if I have any specific tools or estimate demand for a product before sourcing, or is it all about getting the product and testing? It's all about getting the product and testing. Honestly, my brother and I, we had 1,700 products, and so I've seen it all. I've seen products that I thought were going to be the biggest winners and they're the biggest losers, and I've seen products that I thought were like, nah, might as well try it, and then it takes off. So it's very hard using analytics and Terapeak and all that kind of stuff to actually get an accurate assessment of the sales. Sean asks, oh man, so for newbies who don't have a business structure, what do you recommend for a good structure to start? How did you start? SCorp, LLC, SCorp, sole proprietorship? I would do just sole proprietorship, use your social security number until you get to like $10,000 in sales. I like to consider things like 5-figure problems, 6-figure problems, 7-figure problems. Whereas like a 6-figure problem is like worried about like getting patents. Like if you haven't sold $100,000 worth of this product, don't even worry about getting patents or getting any like trademark or anything like that, because no one wants to steal some product that doesn't make any money. And so it's like, I usually try to not even worry about the business structure until you do about like $10,000 in sales. The reason I say that is because so many people use the business structure and filing for an LLC and all that kind of stuff as an excuse and a way to procrastinate. And I've seen so many people who they'll email me asking a question about what kind of LLC they should do. And then the next week they'll email me again asking for some clarification. And then the next week they'll email me again for asking for a little bit more clarification. And it's like, well, damn it. Like, you just spent 3 weeks like filling out paperwork to file your business when you could have already been 3 weeks deep in product research, and it only takes like a week to 2 weeks to get your product from Aliexpress. So like you could already have products in stock selling right now, and instead you're still worrying about like what kind of tax structure you're going to set up. And so that's kind of stuff that it's like once you get selling and once you kind of figure it out, that's when I would go talk to an actual like tax professional. But for the time being, it's like just get selling and figure it out after the fact. And like I personally like the idea of an SCorp where you get taxed. If you guys don't know the SCorp, it's like you pay yourself a reasonable salary and then you get taxed on your capital gains at the end of the year. And it's something where it's just so specific to each person's businesses. I like the idea of a business where I work 3 hours a week and aren't constantly in the business, and so I'm kind of looking at a business structure that allows me just to kind of get a steady paycheck. Some people might be looking at a business structure where they're looking to sell their company later on, so an LLC might make more sense, and it just all depends. Or some people are looking at getting a bunch of partners involved. It's so specific to each person's case that I can't really give any solid advice on what business structure to set up. Are you creating new listings or using existing listings for the 10 items you try from Aliexpress? I create new listings. Rob says, have you been scammed by Chinese on Alibaba? Once, specifically. They've tried to scam me a few times, but one time specifically, it was dumb. I ordered like $500 in like 15-inch digital picture frames. I got them for like 30 bucks, or I thought I was gonna get them for like 30 bucks a piece, and I got like $500 worth of them, like samples. I usually wouldn't buy digital stuff like that, but they were selling for like 200 bucks on Amazon. I'd get them for 30 from Alibaba, and I was like, well, it's worth 500 bucks if they're all just like destroyed. It's still worth it, the risk. And it ended up that they just never sent me anything, and they were just a scam. And it's like, whatever, 500 bucks costs doing business. Like, people in a traditional business, people spend like $500 a year on like their water cooler fees. So like I don't feel bad losing money kind of here and there because my business is so lean. I just did added up all the different software I use, and besides the variable costs, my overhead cost is 160 bucks a month. It's like that's pretty damn lean. Like tell me any other business that is 160 bucks to run it overhead. And so it's something that like, yeah, you lose 500 bucks here and there, but it's like, I got a question. Hi, Will. Just started my FBA business from Lithuania. Thinking about starting my company in Hong Kong. Is this a good idea? I got no idea, honestly. Sure. It's the kind of thing where I am so not a tax professional. I know zero about international taxes and even like international business for the most part. And so I don't feel comfortable giving any real advice on this because I know as much as you do. Do you use forwarder, agents, etc.? Stuart, I use like UPS. I know if you set up a UPS business account, they'll have someone call you within like 48 hours, kind of ask you about your business and what kind of stuff you're going to need. And if you tell them you're doing international freight, you're ordering stuff from China to sell on Amazon, they'll hook you up with like an international logistics agent and all that kind of stuff. I know that if you find a guy on the ground in China, you can get it for way cheaper or whatever. But I like the comfort of having UPS, a big global brand name. They're always going to figure out our stuff. You can always hold them accountable, all that kind of stuff. And so it's like, I know I'm paying more, but at the same time, I see it as kind of an insurance policy. So Heather asked, if you do not do much marketing, how do you rank your product high enough for people to find it? Or do you focus on obscure niches? I focus on obscure niches. If I can't throw the product up and be on page 2, at least, I wouldn't even go near it because it's like, I don't have time to, like I said, 1,700 products. If I was in there trying to market each one of them and have Facebook groups for each little niche and all that kind of stuff, it just would be the exact reason why I didn't get into the Amazon business, is a bunch of busy work. I got into Amazon business because it's like no nonsense, where if you find a good product, you can just buy it from China, flip it, send it into Amazon, and not think about it for 6 months, and then flip it again and not think about it for 6 months, and have your money work for you opposed to you working for your money. And so if you're sitting there like posting little like, hey guys, new meat cloth coming out in the barbecue Facebook group, check it out, click this link here, share with your friends, like that's, I don't know if it's just me personally, but like I see that kind of stuff on Facebook, I see that stuff on social media, and first off, it looks so lazy, it looks so spammy, it looks so annoying. It's never like, oh, thank you for telling me about your meat claws, I had no idea, now I'm gonna go buy them. It's like, it's never that case in my point of view. And so it's like, maybe it's because I hate being marketed to, that I hate the idea of marketing, because it's like, I would be annoyed if someone came to my door trying to sell me something. And so the last thing I'm gonna do is go door to door and be a hypocrite and sell people stuff. Is it okay to ask your supplier from China to send your inventory directly to the FBA center? Yeah, it's okay, but it's risky. I've never done it personally. I know a bunch of people do it. It's something that if you have a good relationship with your Alibaba supplier, it really helps. The way I see it is, I'm going to go on a little rant again, but it's all about, if you invest the money, you can do anything. And so, yes, you can have your Chinese supplier send your inventory directly to Amazon, but it will probably be worth your time and money if you spend the $2 to $3 grand and fly out there and actually meet with them, see the factory, show them exactly how you want it labeled and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, $3 grand might seem like a lot of money, but there's people spending 100, 200 grand for a degree to become a kindergarten teacher. You know what I'm saying? And not that there's anything wrong with a kindergarten teacher, but I'm saying that the return on investment is almost zero. Like, they're spending 100, 200 grand at some private college, and it may take them till they're 40 to get their money back. When you spend 2, 3 grand to go out to China, you can make your money back within that first month. And so it's like, that's what it always, one of my biggest pet peeves with the Amazon sellers is how big some of them of penny pinchers they are. It's like, I'm all about being lean and not spending money. But at the same point, you got to spend money to make money. And there's these people who will have no problem getting a psychology degree and spending $100,000 on that. But, well, I'm not paying $100 shipping for my samples, I'll tell you that much. It's like, come on, like, what are you doing? And like, how annoying are you for that Chinese supplier too? They don't want to do business with you anymore. You ordered some like $300, they do $100,000 orders all the time, and you do some $300 order from them, and you're sitting there trying to nickel and dime them for like $30 shipping or $50 shipping. It's like, yeah, next time this guy emails you, just don't answer his emails, because he only orders a couple $100 worth of stuff and then bugs you about the couple $100 worth of stuff. And so I don't, like, people ask, like, do I negotiate with Chinese suppliers? And that's like, that's something I would do after like a year of relationship with them, because until that point, if you're not ordering enough inventory and they're not giving you, like, offering you a price cut, you're just being annoying and you're wasting their time. And so if you're going to order $1,000 worth of stuff and then you want logos and you want this and you want packaging, but then you don't want to be charged anything extra in fees, it's like you are not valuable to them. And it's all about building relationships. And so, yeah, it's definitely okay to ask your supplier to send your inventory to FBA centers, but I would really want to build a solid relationship first and foremost before you can trust them to do that kind of thing. And for me, I sell stuff under multiple different listings. I like doing them different kind of combos. I like doing kind of something different every single time. And so I always kind of prefer to do the quality assurance myself and label everything myself and know exactly what I'm sending in. But it's totally, if you have your kind of business already on set it and forget it, you could easily have your Chinese suppliers send it into FBA. It's just that you just want to build the relationship first. What do you use for accounting? Xero and Stitch Labs. STITCH labs.com and XERO.com. And they kind of combine together to do taxes and then TaxJar. So TaxJar, Xero, and Stitch Labs, and they all combine together to do like inventory management and taxes and accounting. Hi, Will, can you go over a strategy of selling a product you don't have on Amazon yet, i.e. getting a supplier to drop ship a product to a customer? Anthony, I don't do very much. I mentioned it offhand in like the web retailer article, and so many people like ask me about it, like, wait, you're selling products you don't even own yet, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's such a small like portion of what I do. It's kind of thing where like I will have a product on order, and I will order, say it's going to be here in 2 weeks. I'll throw up the merchant fulfilled listing immediately. Because if I get any sales within that first week, I'll just wait till the inventory gets in and then ship it out myself once the inventory gets in. But if it happens within like 2 weeks out, I'll I'm better at online shopping than most people, and so I'll go find it somewhere cheaper online, buy it, put their shipping address, my billing address, ship it to the customer, mark it as shipped in Amazon, and say, okay, well, I made $5 on that. Like, it's nothing sweet, but at least made the customer happy. Another question, how do you find your product ideas? Again, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Just keep your mind open, always be looking, always be kind of on the lookout for every item you look at in every store, every item you look at in your house. Think, is it a good idea to sell it on Amazon? That's basically what you have to do. Joe Cho asks, what platform do you use to build your websites? I like, my blog is on WordPress, but I like Shopify. They have a good integration with the ShipStation software where you can fulfill your stuff through Amazon pretty easily. Do you use quality checkers before stock leaves China? No. Excuse me. I do not use quality checkers before they leave China. I usually order a sample first and check the quality myself. And then I also, first order is always on PayPal, like big order. And so I have the container show up. I buy it on PayPal. If everything's broken, I'll just go complain to PayPal and they'll give me my full refund. But I've never had that happen where like I got a full container, everything messed up. I did have one of my suppliers send it where they sent like the wrong size, like a whole container of the wrong size. And I had been doing business with the supplier now for like a year and a half, and just no problem. They bit the bullet and paid for the shipping for the container back to China and then shipped us another container out. And so like it was annoying because we were out of stock for another like 3 weeks, but that was like worst case scenario. We got the wrong container of products, and what came of it was like a 3-week delay. So like, yeah, it was annoying, but at the same time, it wasn't like anything stressful because it was like, well, there's nothing I can do about it, and they're fixing the problem. So it's just kind of sit back and wait. Life happens. Is there a reason you are in favor of see what sticks model versus focusing on a deep customer research for one product and ramping it up to 100K product? Yeah, because the 100K products are so competitive, and so they're already kind of saturated for the most part. And two is that the product research is all false. It's just not true. And so it's like FBA Toolkit, AMZ Shark, any of these things. I went and had a virtual assistant go through my 1,700 SKUs and the ones I own the buy box 100% for, see what my sales are, and then compare it against all these different softwares, just so I could see for my personal use, and they were off. And so sometimes it would say I sold 5 when I really sold 10 last week. Sometimes it would say I sold 15 when I really sold 10. And so when these people sit there and do this research for months and months and do this and do that, and then you finally throw up a product after 3 months of research and finally ordering and all that stuff, you throw up a product and you get no sales, or you get like 1 or 2 sales, you're like, crap, well, what the heck? And instead, within 3 months, I have already ordered 50 different products. I got 10 that are reoccurring winners, and I'm making cash already. Well, 3 months in, all you've done is spent cash on research and branding and logos and all this kind of stuff, and you don't even know if your product sells first. And the reason why the like customer research and building a product up to 100K and the marketing is so appealing to so many people is because so many people have no money. And so they can sit there and do research all day because they can spend the $20 on the, or $30 on the software and sit there and crunch numbers all day and like pretend like they're working. And they can sit there and do all these social media work and like pretend like they're working and be like, wow, like I put in a good like 6 hours today. Wow, I got a lot of work done. And it's like, I don't care how much work you got done because you didn't make any extra money for yourself. What's the point of doing all this work if you're not making any extra money for yourself? It's all about making money at the end of the day. Like I was saying earlier, we're using Amazon as a channel to make as much cash as possible. Bottom line, nothing else. And so when you sit there and do all this research, you're not making money for yourself. And so it's like, the way I see it is just make money and flip inventory as fast as possible. Don't sit there and do all this research. And then once you find a winner and you see that people want it, yeah, then you can market it. Then you can bring it to that $100,000 product because you're trying to figure out what use of your time gives you the most money possible. And so if you think you can spend 3 hours on this product, advertising it and branding it, and it will double your sales, then go right ahead. but it's almost impossible to spend 3 hours marketing and doubling your sales. If you only have 10 SKUs, it is not impossible for you to spend 3 hours ordering 10 products on Amazon and doubling your sales real quick. And then from there, gleaning it out and seeing exactly how you can increase your profit margin from there. And so I could talk about this for hours, is how every single Amazon expert goes and tells you to do the same exact thing and go find a product and try to sell 1,000 of them a day. And it's just so much easier to find 1,000 different products and sell each of them once a day. Honestly, it's a million times easier. And especially too, if those 1,000 products all come from one supplier, you can fill up a container super quickly because you order 15 of each product and you have 15,000 units and you have a container filled already. Brian asks, with Aliexpress, do you have the products go to Amazon or do you have them come to you? I have them come to me first and then Amazon. Mark says, thanks for doing the webinar. Thanks for being here. I haven't even looked at the, I got 86 people in here. Sean sent me a product idea, and it's a HVAC product, which is like my niche. I really can almost guarantee that I either sell the product he's looking at or something. But Sean, if you want to email me at William Tjernlund, I'll talk to you more about your product. William Tjernlund, WILLIAMTJERNLUND @gmail.com, and I will talk to you more specifically about your product idea. I won't do it in public for everybody. With so many people using software such as Jungle Scout, AmaSuite to source products, I'm concerned that everyone will eventually catch up with you, even if you're doing private labeling. What do you think? Is private labeling a good model? Okay, well, there's always going to be competition. There's always going to be people nipping at your ankle, so there's nothing you can do about that. But this is the key. This is the best part. So I use my own brain, and I come up with product ideas like drone landing pad, because there's only one sold on Amazon. And so you would look on Jungle Scout and you'd look up drone landing pad and you'd go, oh, look, there's no sales. And the reason there is no sales is because there's no one offering it, and so no one can technically buy it. And so I'm going to keep doing my little own product research in my head, coming up with original new product ideas and coming up with new niches to go after, while everyone else uses the same exact software that gives them the same exact analytics. And so everyone's going to go, wow, it looks like organic yoga mats is the product. Look, it looks so good. Like, not that much competition on Jungle Scout, and the sales are great. And then while you think that, there's 1,000 other people using the same exact software coming to the same conclusion, and then all of a sudden these unsaturated niches become saturated niches overnight because everyone's looking at the same exact incorrect data. And so while everyone keeps chasing the same different like high-selling niches, like, oh, look, now it's organic kitchen accessories. It's a new big niche. And now it's pet accessories. Now it's this, and now it's that. And everyone keeps chasing these like sexy niches that look like they're at all these high velocity. I'll keep selling my ones and twos of everything. And if I'm only selling 2 units a day, and even if I'm making $20 a day, 99% of people see 2 units a day. I'm not going to waste my time sourcing that product. That's a loser. And it's like, no, you're a loser because you're being too picky. You need to make cash. Don't worry about like what kind of image you're portraying or what kind of cool brand you can tell people you're selling or anything like that. Worry about making money. Sell the unsexy niches. Make bank. Don't worry about like, it just, everyone has this little idea in their head, like it's so cool to build your own brand out and then do your own social media, and then it goes viral, and then you hire employees and you have a warehouse and you get all these cool things, and it's like, that stuff's not cool. And I'm going to give you guys another quick little rant. I don't want to put the guy in the spot, but I sell a lot of like hipster wood accessories. It's just a bunch of junk, and I flip it from Aliexpress, but it makes very good sales. And I'm from Minnesota, and there was a guy recently who was like my age, like 24, who was in Minneapolis magazines, like 30 Under 30 magazine. And he has this business that he has like 30 employees and a warehouse, and he has all this marketing and his beautiful website, and they're saying, wow, you're so successful and you have such a great business, such a young age. Well, one of my buddies went and actually met with him, and he makes so damn money. He has too much overhead. He's renting out his extra warehouse space because they can't cover payroll. They got no damn money. And it's like, you are exactly what I preach against. And he is exactly what a lot of Amazon sellers like strive to be. With it's like, I want to have this warehouse, I want to have employees, I want to have a real brand, I want to have a real company. And it's like, it's not cool to have a real company if you're not making any money. And so it's way cooler to be selling your 2 drone pads a day, making 15 grand a year net profit, opposed to having 30 people in a warehouse and actually making 0 profit and struggling to make payroll. On successful order products, do you reorder from Aliexpress or do you find another manufacturer to make them cheaper? It depends. It really depends case by case. There's one product right now that I keep selling. It's if I order 10 units, they charge me shipping. If I order 9, it's free shipping. And so I keep just flipping 9 units at a time because I sell like 3 a day and I can't help myself. But I'm currently, as I keep flipping those 3 a day and keep ordering 9 over and over again from AliExpress, in the background, I found a legitimate manufacturer, and I'm actually getting my brand put on it and getting all this other stuff, because this unit I'm talking about, I'm making $20 a unit, and I'm selling 3 days, so I'm making $60 a day off this product. So it's making me around 20 grand a year. And I know that if I can private label it, not only will it protect myself, but I also can add more price to it because it will look more quality. And so I'm currently working on with an Alibaba supplier, branding it, getting nice packaging, doing all that stuff, while I'm still selling the samples over and over again. And so again, instead of sitting there spending 3 months of doing research, I'm sitting there making cash that's going to bankroll my first big order. Have you ever made changes to a product you found on AliExpress? I have a product I want to sell, but I want to make some changes to it. Any tips on that? So the deals with AliExpress suppliers is that about half of them are middlemen, half of them are like a sample store for the actual manufacturer. And so I would look into the AliExpress like their storefront and see what products they sell. One supplier I saw recently sold a bunch of wooden accessories and then sold swimsuits. And so it's like, this guy probably is just some like entrepreneurial Chinese guy who's in an apartment building in between like a clothing manufacturer and a wood manufacturer, and he just goes to both of them and says, hey, can I buy your products, and throws up an AliExpress storefront, and it's like that easy. And then you see other guys where it's like their products don't really make sense together, but they only sell rope. So they sell rope for dog toys, they sell rope for tying off boats, they sell rope for towing, and you're like, okay, it looks like this guy only sells ropes. And since they only sell ropes, there's a decent chance they might actually just be the manufacturer of the ropes. And so if they're the actual manufacturers, they might be willing to do product changes. But if they're just some sort of middleman, they don't really have the authority / the know-how to do any like adjustments or changes to the product. My thoughts on July 15th being Amazon Prime Day. I am curious what Amazon is going to do to entice sellers to lower their price. Because I know for me personally, I'm not going to lower my price. I have no incentive to. If Amazon did some crazy crap, like you got like every sale you got counted as double metrics for that day, or if Amazon said no Amazon fees for a day, every Amazon seller would jack their price down and say, well, I'm going to reduce price 20%, or I'm going to sit there and sell my stuff at 50% and just have it fly off the shelves because I'm going to get a bunch of extra rankings. But if Amazon doesn't do anything to entice the sellers to make lower prices, I'm not really sure how they're going to get everyone else to go buy on Amazon, specifically on July 15th. Josie, I hope this is recorded. She says, I'd love to listen to it again. It's not recorded, sorry. I said in the email I wasn't going to record it. I record the ones for like my mastermind, but for these ones, it's kind of first come, first serve. If I record them, then my life becomes miserable, because then every single person sits there and emails me, and I have like about 1,000 people now on my email list, and so then I get 1,000 emails saying, hey, can I get the link to it? Hey, can I get the link to it? Hey, the video player's not working on my computer. Hey, I got an old PC. He put this on YouTube, so it works on my video player. And then it's like this thing that I'm doing right now for fun to talk to Amazon sellers and help people out becomes like an annoying job for me. And then at that point, it's like annoying. So it's like, if anyone else wants to record this and post it, go right ahead. I don't care. But it's, to me, I'm doing this for fun. I'm not making any money off this. I'm not advertising anything. So I don't want to make it unfun for myself. Did you ever order a product on Alibaba without testing it on Aliexpress? Yeah, I'm doing it right now. It's just certain products you can't find on Aliexpress, so I have to order samples from Alibaba. It's a pain in the ass because it takes an extra 2 more weeks just discussing, going back and forth, getting the bill laden, getting telex release, getting all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I really prefer, because Aliexpress, you see some of them, they have like 5 to 7 day shipping. You click add to cart, you click checkout, that product's already on its way. With Alibaba, you sit there and you email them and say, hey, I'm really interested in your product. Can I get a price sheet? They send you back a price sheet. You say, okay, I want to order this many of this many of this many. And then they go, okay, it's going to be this price. What's your address? You send them your address. They go, okay, we're going to use our DHL account. You say, okay. They say, okay, manufacturing started. We'll contact you in a week when it's shipped. And then every one of those emails takes a day because of the time zone difference. And so it just ends up taking forever. It's annoying. How do you manage all your SKUs? Stitch Labs and Amazon's internal software is how I manage the SKUs. When you consider products, do you have a target profit margin? Around 20%. I like to, in smaller products, I like to make at least $5 a unit so it's worth my time, unless the product is flying off the shelf. But if the product's flying off the shelf and I'm making only $1 a unit, but I'm selling 30 units a day, that's totally not the kind of product I'd go after. And so I like to make at least 20%, and I like to sell more expensive products just because I would see a bigger profit margin. How would a UK resident selling on Amazon.com and using their fulfillment centers operate an e-commerce store based in the US alongside selling on Amazon? Again, I do not want to get into how to set up international businesses just because I can give you kind of some idea, but it's like I'd just be talking out of my ass and it's not helpful to anyone. All right, so last question I'm going to answer is any question that's before in the next 3 minutes. So I'll get through the remaining questions, but after that I'm going to cut it off. Okay, so where were we at? Okay, so question. Do you keep all your products on one seller account, or do you open a new seller account for each product? I sell them under one seller account. It's just easier for me to manage. I just go after the most generic name possible. You call it Will's Products, or high quality equipment, or high quality goods, or just most generic seller name possible, and then you can sell as many SKUs as you want underneath it. Frank says, I'm currently in China. Is it possible to test products here? Will it be a disadvantage because I'm shipping to customers from China? Yeah, it's going to be really hard to test products while you're in China, to test selling products. You're definitely going to want to have to try to send them to the Amazon fulfillment centers from China, which might be kind of a pain in the butt. You have to call Amazon, I believe, to make sure that they fill out the paperwork that they're the initial importer. I've never done it, so again, if I don't have personal experience with doing something, I don't like giving too much advice just because my advice isn't that helpful then. Hey, well, I'm in a super competitive space and doing pretty well. 12 BSR. 12 BSR. What do you recommend I do to really knock out the top guys that have been getting reviews questionably? Well, I would try to report them to Amazon. It's like, why not? If they're doing something shadily, it's like one of the biggest things I always say is like I try to follow every single Amazon terms and service agreement to the book, to the T, I mean, because first off, then you're safe, and second off, then it allows you to go call everyone else on their crap, and you don't have to ever worry about repercussions because you're like, well, I'm doing everything by the book, so what are you going to say about me? What third-party tools do you recommend? Go to FBAexpert.com/affiliate, Sarah. And you can see they're all most of them are affiliate links, just FYI. But that has actually all of the software I actually use. So yeah, FBAexpert.com/affiliate has a list of the software I use. Do you worry about sales tax getting registered in each state? In each state seems like a big task. From what I understand is that the sales tax thing is kind of like they're passing new laws as I speak about different e-commerce laws and different Amazon laws and all that kind of stuff. But as of right now, you only have to pay sales tax in random counties throughout like the country, which a tax jar will handle for you, and any state that you have nexus in that have like actually a physical location in. Sarah says, you mentioned Terapeak. I'm not familiar with it. Can you please clarify? Terapeak gives you sales data on eBay and kind of Amazon, and I don't know, it's really not helpful. It's really hard to search in it. You have to use very, very specific keywords and all that kind of stuff, and it's just not very helpful. Sharon says, as someone who lives outside of the U.S., can I test products from Aliexpress and have them sent directly to Amazon FBA? Yeah, you can try. You are going to want to make sure that they label everything correctly and you have all the paperwork correct, but it's definitely, I've heard of people doing it, so I know it's definitely possible. Is there a tool we can use to track other people's paid campaigns? Not to pick you out specifically, but if you're looking for a tool to track other people's paid campaigns, I hope you're doing like $10 million a year in sales, because you're just focusing on the wrong area. Focus on yourself, focus on increasing SKUs, increasing revenue, then increasing profit. Don't focus on what someone's spending on ads or spending on this kind of thing. This is the way I see it. Okay, first goal, get to $10 million in sales a year. $10 million in sales a year. Until then, don't worry about stupid stuff. Don't worry about how other people are spending their ad money. And then, once you get to $10 million a year in sales, if you increase your profit margin, okay, that's going to get a little wordy, but imagine your profit margin is 20%, okay? And you do $10 million a year in sales. So you're doing $2 million a year in profit. Okay. If you increase your profit margin by 1% when you're doing $10 million a year in sales, then you increase your profit margin by 1% and $10 million in sales, that means you put an extra 100 grand in your pocket profit. To get that amount of profit by increasing your SKUs, you'd have to sell another $500,000 worth of product. And so at the $10 million mark, for like me, it's much easier to increase profit margin by 1% opposed to trying to sell another 500 grand worth of stuff. And so when you're at the $10 million mark and like that 1 percentage point of profit can actually get you an extra 100 grand in your pocket, then I would worry about tracking other people's ad campaigns and getting all these softwares and really deep diving into it and really trying to squeeze out every last 1 percentage point, because you're just trying to increase every little place where there's margin being kind of diluted. But until that point, don't be worrying about competition. Don't be worrying about that kind of stuff. Just sell your own product, sell the best quality product, the best price, and you will do well. Do you have any parent-child listings, and do you find it sells more because of it? I think it depends. There are certain products where the parent-child listing doesn't make as much sense because you're selling it under a bunch of different, like I like selling it under a bunch of different names and going after a bunch of different keywords. There's other ones where parent-child listing makes the most sense because there's only so many search terms people are going to use for it, so you might as well get all your sales to one place. And so it's a case-by-case basis, like a lot of things in Amazon. Sarah, can you tell us what software you use? I don't. Again, okay. People ask me all the time what software I use, and that's always kind of a red flag to me that they're looking for like a shortcut. Like they think that, like, not calling Sarah out specifically, but like some people really think that like, oh, if I just had this one software, if I just had this one different program, then it would take my Amazon. Then I would have the real analytics. Then it would take my Amazon level business to the real level. And it's kind of thing where I don't use any software for product research. I only use software for automation. And so the only reason I use software is so I don't have to do work. And so I use like ShipStation to fulfill products. I use AppEagle as a repricer. I use Xero for accounting. I use Stitch Labs for inventory management. I use TaxJar, as I was saying. I think that's it, honestly. I'm trying to think. I don't think I use any more. I use Odesk for getting, or Upwork, or whatever they want to call it now. But that's it. Oh, Frank asked what software you use too. Yeah, go to fbaexpert.com/affiliate or affiliates, one of the two, and it'll have a list of all the software I use. Do you have a warehouse? Well, this is interesting you asked, Stuart, because I did have a warehouse. I was working with my brother, and we were doing great. As you guys read in the article, doing like, I think like 620 grand last month in sales. But I was getting a little burnt out, and I kind of looked at myself and thought, well, shit, I'm going to be managing people in a warehouse for the next 20, 30 years of my life. This isn't what I want to do. So I quit. And I started my own Amazon thing. And me and my brother are totally still tight. We talk every day. Like, we're totally cool. It's not like weird family thing or anything. But, yeah, now I'm selling my own products, and I'm just, instead of 1,700 SKUs and constantly trying to keep stuff in stock and constantly having a million headaches, I have way less SKUs. I only have like a couple dozen. I'm doing very well, and I'm making good money and working like 2 hours a week, and it's awesome. And so, like, I was just in Amsterdam for the whole month of June. I just moved into an apartment building. I'm at my parents' house right now because I don't have Wi-Fi. So I just moved to a new apartment building on a lake. So I've been hanging out on the lake all summer. And so I've been doing that kind of thing. And so I did have a warehouse with my brother, but now I'm just doing stuff out of my apartment building and just flipping stuff from Aliexpress and just finding little gaps in the market and actually doing them pretty well. Just kind of trying to make my business as lean as possible, because I would rather work 2 hours a week and make 100 grand a year opposed to make $1 million a year and work 80 hours a week. Do you sell outside of US, Amazon, Canada, blah, blah, blah? Yeah, selling Amazon Canada, it's kind of weak, but it's getting bigger. Amazon Mexico just got launched. That's getting bigger and bigger. But no, all the rest of the international markets are pretty weak compared to Amazon US. And so until the Amazon US is completely saturated, I'll just stick with Amazon US. Do you ever compete with ships and sold by Amazon? No. Unless I'm selling it to Amazon. But no, Amazon pretty much usually controls the buy box almost 100%. How do you determine if there's too much competition? Well, if I can't be on the second page by just throwing up a listing, then there's too much competition for me. So if I just throw up a random listing and, yeah, I'm on page like 8, then I don't like that idea, because then I have to work my way up to get on page 2, and I don't want to do that. Donna asks, do you only use airship or do you ship products by sea? Well, containers obviously go by sea, but air products usually, just to get it quicker and just to flip the samples as quick as possible and get the money in my pocket. But once I do a larger order, it's always way cheaper to go by sea. Do you use Amazon PPC? Yeah, I am the shit at Amazon PPC. I honestly have figured it out perfectly. I think last time I checked on my brother's and I account, we've spent in the last 4 months like 16 grand and had done like close to 700 grand in sales. If you go after non-competitive niches, and there's a million niches, like literally millions of niches out there that are high-velocity niches that have crazy sales that no one is doing PPC yet, and I don't know what the deal is. And you can go in there, and it'll be like some random thing like, I'm trying to think of a super popular, expensive product. It's, imagine like a laptop stand or something. A laptop stand, like a super nice finished metal one for 80 bucks. And then you look and you type in laptop stand and you don't see any ads anywhere. And you go, well, shit. And you can get on the first page of like a super high velocity selling product for like 5 cents a click. And when you're selling something for $70 and you're paying 5 cents a click, it's almost impossible not to make your money back. So it's a pretty sweet deal. I have some products that are like $2,000 a unit that me and my brother were selling that no ad competition, and so they're like 5 cents a click, and it's hilarious because you look at it and you'll be like $25,000 in sales, ad spend $1.78. It's like, what the hell? Like the percentages couldn't be better. How do you handle and prep all the SKUs? Yeah, I do it myself. Label it all myself. Just use a generic old printer. No big deal. Any tips for sourcing? For some of these obscure niches, I find it difficult to source the items on AliExpress. Do you use a sourcing agent? No, I don't use a sourcing agent. If you find a product, like another product I sell was like a coffee pour-over stand, and it was one of those ones where there wasn't even enough pour-over stands to fill up the first page, so I knew I could be on the first page immediately, and now I'm selling like 50 units a month of that. And one of the reasons why I can make a killing on the pour-over stands is because you couldn't find it anywhere on AliExpress or on Alibaba. And so I got it made still, but it was awesome. When you can't find a product on Alibaba, but you know people buy it, it's like, that's a perfect little niche because no one else can be able to source it. Did you ever fly out to China? Yeah, I went to the Canton Fair last year, and I'm planning on going again this fall. What are the chances? Keenan says, I'm considering traveling to the Canton Fair. What amount do you plan to purchase to make it worthwhile going there? Well, I don't go out there planning to kind of spend money. It's like, say it's going to be $2,000 to fly out there, which I'm going to fly on credit card points most likely, but $2,000 to fly out there, another $1,000 for the hotel for the week, another $1,000 for living expenses, so $4,000 total. You will meet so many suppliers, it will jumpstart your business, you'll get so much work done while you're there that if you even do, like at the end, you do a $5,000 order after everything, that $5,000 order, you're going to sell it for $8,000, and then you're going to order another $5,000, and then sell that for another $8,000, and already right there you've made $6,000. The next 6 months you've already paid for your trip, and then that product you can keep selling over and over again. And so like, if you go to the Canton Fair and you can't find a way to make your money back, then you probably shouldn't be selling on Amazon because they couldn't have made it easier, honestly, for you. You don't use the A2X add-on with Zero? I have no idea. I will look that up. Let me write that down real quick. A2X Zero. All right. Well, thank you, Eric. When initially ordering products from AliExpress and you decide that a product is worth continuing to sell, at what point do you switch to the private label version? Do you set up a new listing for the private label version or use the same one? I use the same listing, and I usually do it once. Like, again, there's no rule of thumb. It's all about just like certain products have a minimum order quantity of 1,000. Some of them have 100. And so if I'm selling 10 a day, it's like I'm going to have to order the 1,000 units. And so if I'm going to have to order 1,000 units, it's worth private labeling. It's like, it's really hard for me to give answers to like a lot of questions people ask me because it's always such a case-by-case basis where like if you tell me a very specific product, I'm looking to sell this microphone and I'm looking to private label it. It's like I can give you then some like legitimate feedback on that specific product. But if you when people ask general questions where it's like, when do you decide if you want a private label product or not? It's hard because I never have an answer like, oh, once I sell exactly 100 units, I always private label. There's never absolute answers like that. It's always like, well, some of these I think that like I'm selling these Apple Watch stands right now, and everyone sells the same exact generic shitty one. And it's slowly becoming more and more saturated. And my sales are staying pretty consistent because more and more people are getting Apple Watches. But at the same time, I'm never going to private label this product because I know eventually it's going to become so saturated that it's not even going to be worth my time. And so I'll just keep flipping the product and making money while I can, but I'm never going to put any real effort into it. Frank was asking, currently in China, is it possible to test products here? Yeah, I thought I answered this. Yeah. You can test products from China. It's definitely possible. It's just that you're going to have to really know the Amazon labeling process and all that kind of stuff to make sure that your supplier labels the product perfectly for Amazon, or else Amazon's gonna get the product from like DHL or whatever, and like the double wrapped yellow tape, and be like, "What the heck is this?" and just reject it. I have a Will. Great job teaching. Could you please speak out about doing JV with someone? I don't know what you mean by JV. If you could clarify that. Yeah, sorry. Hey, Will. I already answered that question. Hey, Will, can you share your experience with Sears, Rakuten, Google Shopping? Google Shopping is awesome. Google Shopping works great for my e-commerce sites. Majority of my sales came through Google Shopping. Sears is terrible. Sears is like the worst thing ever. When I was setting up my Sears account, I went through multiple customer service people that didn't even know third-party sellers could sell on Sears, and Sears was like the biggest waste of time of all time. And same with Rakuten. I haven't really gone into it. It's Amazon works so well, and I know how Amazon works. And so, like, same with international selling and with all these other sales like platforms, is that once my sales like stagnate, I'll think about going to them. But like, for the most part, I keep growing like 20% month over month. And so it's like, why? If it's not broke, don't fix it. Who pays the PayPal fees when you order from China using PayPal? I pay the PayPal fees. If you get a sweet supplier, they may pay PayPal fees. And sometimes, like especially too, when you're ordering like $40,000 worth of stuff, PayPal fees may be $2,500, but it's a $2,500 insurance policy. That's what I see it as. How do you organize one full container with many different products from many different suppliers? They're never from multiple different suppliers. It's usually one supplier sends one container. And so I've never had to try to combine containers. Now, and if I did, that's something I would just call my UPS agent and say, hey, we're trying to combine in the container, figure it out. I know too, there are like trade organizations in like different cities. I know we have one in Minneapolis where like a bunch of like companies get together, like 20 companies get together and say, they kind of have like a message board saying like when they're going to order containers. We're saying like, hey, I'm trying to get a quarter container. Anyone else need anything? And then a bunch of people message in, I need a quarter container. I need a quarter container. And then together they fill up containers as a whole. And so I know there's like kind of co-ops and stuff like that you can do. What do you do for customer service that you consider to be great customer service? Well, nice thing about my customer service strategy is that I buy products for like $1, $2 and usually sell them for like $15, $20. And so since my products are so cheap, I will, any complaint, anything, I will just send people free stuff. I'll just send them free stuff and say, okay, oh, it didn't come as described or you didn't like it. It's like refund and I'll send you a new one. Like, doesn't matter to me. And so it's like anything to make the customer happy, because if you make the customer happy, you make Amazon happy, because Amazon cares about their customers more than the sellers. Have you been to China to meet any of your suppliers? Yes. Yeah, I met someone else at Canton Fair last time. It actually was really convenient last year because my one supplier actually changed bank accounts on me and said like, hey, can you actually send the money to this bank account for this order, not this one this time? And I was like, oh, this is fucking shady. And so it was kind of nerve-wracking. And then luckily I was going out to Canton Fair, so I actually met with them face-to-face and said, hey, is this banking information legit, or did someone steal your email? And they're like, oh, no, yeah, that's legit. Sorry. If you want to keep paying the old bank account, no problem. And it's like, oh, well, good. Well, that was nice. I actually got to go out there and meet the supplier and actually get to the bottom of this. We got about, oh, man. All right, well, I got like 8 more questions I was going to get through, and then there is still a there's still a bunch of questions. Okay, well, now I'm going to get through like next. I got 5 to 8 questions. Any questions I don't answer, just email me, tweet me, whatever. What is the purpose of having Aliexpress products come to you? I do quality assurance. I see the packaging. I see how big they are. I can sell it under multiple different listings. If someone's already bought them, I can ship them out personally and spend less money than I would through Amazon fulfillment. There's a million reasons why I get the inventory to myself before sending it to Amazon. Do you use your personal name or create multiple new names for your listing so that you can abandon the name if the product does not work? Yeah, I just put random brand names up. I don't really worry about if it's a trademark or anything like that. I just kind of make up a brand name, and I don't really worry about killing my hurting my brand as a whole, because it's no one knows what it is. Oh. Hi Will, who do you use for your listing pictures? I take them on my iPhone and then use a software called Clipping Magic to delete the background out. It's really ghetto, but it works fine. What powers your sales more, obscure niches or marketing? Well, obscure niches, because I do zero marketing. Like I was talking about it earlier, marketing's so annoying to me. And so for me personally, it's the last thing I want to do. There's some people who are super personable and love marketing, and that's what they should focus on. That's what you love and that's what you're good at. But for me, it's I do almost zero marketing because it costs money, it takes time, and it's not guaranteed. Is bundling a private label product with a popular accessory that complements the product a good strategy? Yeah, I think it's a great strategy. Any way to differentiate yourself, any way to make it so you kind of pop out. All right, I'm kind of just going through the questions, seeing to just make sure I can answer any quick ones. Oh, Sean just said, a couple people have asked. Sean has this whole thing recorded. Sean Stewart. Yeah, Sean, if you want to email me, God, I actually don't even want to deal with it. I don't want people bugging me about the video. Yeah, Sean, if you want to share it with everyone, share the video away. Share it on every Facebook group you want to. No problem. Yeah, Sean, share the video so much that no one asks me for a copy of it. That would be best case scenario. Is that you post it on every single Facebook group, every single Twitter, or whatever. I'll share it too, and just so no one bugs me. That would be optimal. Because yeah, it's like I was saying. If someone has questions about Amazon or building their business, I'm totally down to help. I love doing that kind of stuff. If people have any questions about formatting a video or anything like that, it's oh, that is not why I got into this. Tell us about your mastermind. Mastermind is currently under construction, I think. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't know how many more members I'm going to accept. We're getting some decent conversation going, but basically the mastermind is a private forum, and it is a place for kind of more experienced Amazon sellers, not people just asking basic questions, but more experienced Amazon sellers to kind of talk to each other and actually talk strategy. And so there's very little yes or no or questions that you can Google on there. It's usually questions where it's kind of want someone's actual specific input. It's great. It's $20 a month. Got a webinar tomorrow for the mastermind. It's got 115 members. I don't even know, 115 members last time I checked. If you're interested in the mastermind, shoot me an email, talk about it. Again, it's williamtjernlund@gmail.com. Oh, Pat's in here. Hey, Pat. Pat, awesome rants. Can you briefly touch on the difference between Alibaba and Aliexpress? No real difference. Like I said, Aliexpress is kind of almost like a sample storefront for Alibaba manufacturers. What is your method of liquidating products that don't sell well? A product that doesn't sell well, I got recently these Apple Watch protective cases. I got 100 of them for $100, and it's like they're not selling; they're pieces of shit. And I can easily though sell probably on eBay, throw it at a 1 cent auction, 7 days, 100 units, and probably get the bid up to 100 to 150 bucks. And if I get like 150 bucks for it, that's 50% profit margin that I flipped in like 3 weeks. And it's like, that's not bad for a product that's a total stinker. You sell in Canada? Yeah, but it's bad. Frank's asked about 1,000,000 times. Can I test products on Amazon from China? Yes, you can test products from China. What software or books do you use? I love 4-Hour Workweek, like my Bible. Other books or resources. I like reading and listening to as many business podcasts as possible that have nothing to do with Amazon. All the Amazon sellers who have podcasts, they kind of become like an echo chamber of each other, and they all kind of just repeat the same stuff over and over again. And also, too, it's not to sound like cocky or anything, but it's like when I'm doing like with like $20,000 a day, and these people are doing like $20,000 a month as like their big month, it's hard for me to like relate with them saying like, oh yeah, well you need to have at least 10 reviews before your ads work. It's like, well, my $10 million in sales says otherwise. So who's right here? The person who has the bigger platform or the person who's actually done the sales? And so it's like I like looking for like anything that's not Amazon related business advice, and then using it on Amazon, because that's a good way to kind of keep thinking outside the box and not do what kind of like the echo chamber says. Because if you just listen to all the advice on all those like Facebook groups and all that crap, everyone just kind of repeats and regurgitates the same advice over and over again, and it really gets no one anywhere. Where I like having unique ideas and thinking outside the box. How many units do you tend to order for your first order of a new product? It's more of a price thing than a unit thing. I usually order somewhere between $500 and $3,000 worth of stuff, and then it kind of depends on how many units I can get. I usually talk to the Aliexpress supplier and just talk to him like a normal human being and be like, hey, what break do I get at shipping? Like, what price break? And so, because say if I'm ordering something like this, and 5 of them fit really good in a box, well, I'm going to talk to my supplier and be like, well, should I order 10 or should I order 13? And hopefully they're not an idiot, and they go, okay, either order 10 or 15, because that's how they fit in boxes. If you order those 3 extra, you're just going to waste money on shipping. So that's kind of like the amount of units I order always kind of depends. So my Aliexpress samples are sold FBA, yes. Isn't it risky getting your Amazon account suspended using only one account? I have no idea why it would be risky. You can't sell multiple niches under one account? I don't get, like, is it against the terms and service agreements to sell like iPhone cases and to sell headphones? Or I don't understand how my account gets suspended because I only have one. All right. You have no warehouse to sell your own product, so how can you sell on your own website and not on FBA? What? All my inventory is at FBA at all times. And so if I sell anything on a website, I just fulfill it through Amazon. Minimum price of a product I'd sell is probably $15 to $20. Anything lower than that, not enough meat on the bones for me. I like to make at least $5 a product. What are your thoughts on drop shipping? I'm totally down if you can make cash off it, but it's not the most sustainable business model. All right, I'm actually getting down to the bottom. All right, well, people are asking for Sean's email. I don't know how to, if Sean wants to comment down here, to give so I can give everyone his email, or if Sean doesn't want everyone bugging him and just wants everyone bugging me, that's fine. I asked for it. Regardless, Sean, email me the video, and please too. Oh, Sean, this would be the biggest help. If you could email me the video already hosted somewhere, not just like the raw file, because I've been having so much trouble with so many different freaking video hosting websites. Do I source anything domestically? These are the last like 3 questions. Do I source anything domestically? Yes, like half my SKUs. We get into that another time. Thanks. How do you get your first reviews? Sometimes I just get one review from like a family or friend if they actually want the product. They're saying, "Hey, oh, you sell those now? Can I get one of those?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, here, I'll send you a link and buy it, and I'll give me a review or whatever." But usually they're just organic. Is there a minimum number of months required for your mastermind? No. If you can join for a day, and if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. If you join for 2 months, I'll give you your money back. I don't care. I'm not doing the mastermind, obviously, to make money. It's not even close to putting any sort of dent in my bank account or anything like that. It's more the forum software costs money. This webinar software costs money. We're actually going step by step through the private labeling process of a product, and so the products I'm sourcing, I'm using the mastermind money to source it and that kind of thing. I'm also, like, we are creating our own like private Wikipedia page, so that the money goes towards that. And so it's just nice having, first off, the $20 a month keeps out all the riffraff. Anyone who doesn't want to spend $20 a month to learn how to build a business, then I don't want you in there, because if you don't have $20 to build a business, then what kind of value are you going to add to the group? And then 2, it's nice having the mastermind have its own little checking account with money, because now we can go do cool stuff. And so we can, have webinars, and we can have a Wikipedia page, and I can spend money on anything to make the mastermind better and just have no qualms about it. The mastermind, email me about it. You can sign up on my website, but I would prefer if you'd email me about it so we can talk about it a little bit. Drop shipping, not a sustainable biz because you're not adding any value. Someone can just come through and do the same exact thing as you. But doesn't fulfilling your own products and your own website through Amazon defeat the purpose of having a website? Remember your theory of assuring a future for your Amazon business, as well as buying out big sellers, etc.? Yeah, I'm not going to fulfill my products through Amazon forever through my e-commerce sites, but while Amazon's still running, I obviously would still like to do it that way because it's the cheapest, easiest way for me to fulfill my orders. But for the most part, it's it's just the easiest way to do it. Eventually, when Amazon kicks all the sellers off, I'm still going to have a website, and at that point, I'll just have to figure out a new way to fulfill my orders. No big deal. Sean said he's going to put it on YouTube and email people, and people can get his Facebook, Sean William. So SeanWilliam. How many people in the mastermind currently? I think I got 115 people. I don't know how many more people I want to add. I'd add another 15 people maybe or something, but not too many more. It's when it gets too many people, then the discussion is not as personal, and it's not as people don't feel they feel like they can sit back more. I feel like, and just kind of let everyone else discuss. And I want everyone to kind of be involved. A couple people asked about the mastermind. Just email me. All right, and. Okay, real quick. A couple people said they already signed up for the mastermind. Hold your horses. I personally go through and accept everyone manually. It's not like an automated service. So you're actually going to get a physical email from me saying, hey, you've been accepted into the mastermind. Here's the link to sign up, blah, blah, blah. Here's where to choose your login and password. And so it's going to be a little bit because first off, I'm moving. Second off, I have no internet in my new apartment. And third off, the actual software is currently under construction. So I'm not scamming anyone. If anyone tries to sign up for the mastermind or do anything, it may take until like 24 or 48 hours until you actually can join. So I know everyone's just got all pumped up from the webinar, but it's going to take me a second, especially with the software is currently kind of under maintenance. But that is it. I will see you guys later. If you guys have any questions, email me, williamtjernlund@gmail.com, Twitter, WTJERN. I guess that's it. Yeah. Thanks, everyone.